think some really interesting artists are modern and contemporary artists, and that's, I think, of course, a result of working at MoMA. But I've discovered some artists that I really like, that I think I really think that any person can look at them and enjoy them and appreciate them, not necessarily like them, but sort of examine them for what they are. I think an important artist is certainly Pablo Picasso. MoMA is a wonderful place to go if you want to learn about Picasso. He is a person who did everything. So he painted, he drew, he sculpted. Absolutely a genius, basically. And so to be able to understand how someone can have the talent to be able literally to do anything is just, I'm always amazed at that particular artist, and really someone who changed the face of art. Other artists I really like are Robert Rauschenberg, and I like him because he's famous for what's called a combine, and a combine means using sort of a half sculpture, half painting. So imagine what you think of painting, and then imagine what you think of sculpture, put them together. So you might have sculptural materials on a painting, literally maybe hanging off the wall. So it sort of changes this idea of what is a painting, what is a sculpture, can you put them together? And this use of material is something that I find really, really interesting in his work. He uses old newspapers and mattresses, he uses tires, light bulbs, all of these things which most of us think those don't belong in a painting. But he puts them together, and he sort of makes a whole new object, a side that's different from just a tire or just a newspaper. When you put it together with paint and with other elements, it becomes something new. So I always enjoy seeing his work. It's also big. A lot of it is really big, and that's exciting to be able to sort of look at all different parts and really sort of inspect everything. You always find something new. And then one of my favorite artists is a man named Robert Ryman, and he's a contemporary artist. He's still alive, and he's known for doing white paintings. He's a very frustrating artist, I think, to a lot of people because they don't get it. Why is it just white? But for Robert Ryman, it's all about the materials and the techniques. And his life's mission, basically, is to figure out every single way white paint works and moves and things that he can do with it. And he's very technical. And so every part of painting is the point of his painting. It has no meaning. It has no hidden, really important lesson that you're supposed to learn. It's literally just about paint and sometimes or marker or pencil and how it works. And if you can get beyond that, if you can accept that, again, it's really about this use of materials. They become the most beautiful things you've ever seen. And I think sometimes everything doesn't have to have a meaning. And I think that's sort of what he's getting at, is that this is just my exploration of this one color and all of the different ways that color can look. You can have a warm white, you can have a cold white, you can have a cream. When you start thinking about it, there's a lot of possibilities in one color that a lot of people say, well, white isn't even a color. So he's an artist who I really, really suggest everybody take a look at. And it's also fun to try to make your own Robert Ryman paintings, to see what it's like to use one color and explore. And I think that each one turns out very different. I've done my own Rymans, and I've tried to imitate some of the techniques that he's used. And it's not as easy as it looks. So I think that's a pretty easy one. All you need is white paint and a brush and maybe a piece of canvas or a board, and just go for it.